they depend on the abuser. Yeah, or if they don't depend on them, they have kids with them, or they feel like they can't make it beyond that situation, especially now. Because people have lost jobs, people have lost businesses, people don't have money. So where are they gonna go? They're gonna stay right there in that situation, and it's definitely made it worse. And then now with say like the school lockdowns, especially like the one that happened in Kenya recently before schools reopened. There's a county in Kenya where over 10,000 school-going children were impregnated. And the worst thing about that is there were no corresponding numbers on the number of men incarcerated over those pregnancies, because those are children. That's rape. It's not sexual intercourse. It's not sexual relations the way they like to put it in the media. It's rape, and I feel like we need to be more comfortable calling it what it is. It's rape. If you're sleeping with an underage child, it's rape, and so the number of men who impregnated these girls have not been incarcerated. They're walking scot-free, doing their thing, and society will continue to protect them.
Are these, well, I don't know if they have numbers saying, okay, this percentage of the 10,000 were boarding students, or
they didn't give percentages on whether they were boarding or day scholars, but because all of them were home, it was a period of time where all of them were home.
Oh, this is during the period?
During the period of lockdown. Okay. So during the lockdown period where schools were closed, young girls, their futures ruined completely.
Okay, so this is not necessarily just headmasters or
No,
teachers.
It's not headmasters or teachers, but it still happens in schools. Mm-hmm. Teachers impregnate little girls, 15, 16-year-olds. And you're like, why? What's wrong with you? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's a society that allows them to. We live in a society that permits such behavior, you know? Because we'll talk about it and be like, oh, you're ruining our young girls' lives, such and such, such and such. But who is on the ground pursuing those men? You know? And at the same time, who is preventing these girls from being stigmatized, from being demonized, from being called loose and fast and all those damaging words that we call young girls who are taken advantage of, you know? No one is doing that. No one is protecting these kids. So first of all, there's the trauma of being sexually assaulted and then being impregnated, giving birth to a child who you have no idea how you're going to take care of, because you don't even have the mental capacity or the financial means to take care of them. And then on top of that, there's a whole society that tells you you're the one who's on the wrong. How? You know? How? Victim blaming is a big problem here. It's a really, really big problem.
Universal.
Mm.
We were actually just talking about the culture in the diaspora, especially the U.S., where all of the overwhelming majority of television programs, movies, are promoting law enforcement.
Yeah.
And their right to basically assassinate Africans at will.
Judge and jury.
And so when it actually happens in real life, the response is either muted or canceled out or given justification to the actions against them.
Pull up a mugshot from back then when they looked like they were, just basically taint their image.
Yes.
Make them look like they deserved it. Yeah.
So just one last question, and thank you for your time. I know it's late. So in your view, if you could say 2 or 3 or one thing that is in the minds of the average woman as far as what needs to happen to improve their lot, improve their position, even to deal with some of the issues that you've raised thus far. whether just in general conversation, they may not even be expressing these things directly or specifically, but in your discourse with women, what are maybe a few things that you think that's really pertinent to them as far as actually transforming their situation?
Well, first is more women in leadership. And not just any women, women who understand our agenda. You know, because you can have women in leadership, but it's women who pander to male interests, right? But when you have women leaders who understand the problems that we face in society, who understand where we want to go as women and not where we're expected to go, right? Then we'll have change. Then we'll have people who actually stand up for us. Then we'll have people who actually want to see us, what's the word? Advance. That's number one, women in leadership. Second, a change of mindset. A change of mindset in the sense that culturally, we're tired of being seen as what we were discussing earlier, as objects of desire, as childbearing objects, I'll say it again, as homemakers. We need to stop attaching female value to those things. Once we begin to be seen as more than that, that's when real change will begin to happen. And that's supposed to start within the women themselves. We're supposed to say the cycle ends here. I see a lot of encouraging stuff where women stick up for each other, you know, like someone will post one of those generic memes, oh, to be a good woman, you have to do this and this and this, oh, be the Proverbs 31 woman, or this, yeah, you know? and people will speak up and say, no, that's not the age we're in anymore. We can be whatever and whoever we want to be. And I feel like once that starts sticking, once we stop being our own worst enemy, I'll say that because it's not just a saying, it really is true. We do tend to be our own worst enemy. Because like I said, we're not going to change the minds of those in power, in this case, which is men. We're not going to change these dynamics by changing their minds. We're going to change those dynamics by changing what we accept, by changing what we perceive as womanhood, by changing what we perceive as being valuable as a woman, you know, being a contributing member of society as a woman. So once we change the mindset within ourselves, then that's when we're going to start seeing change. That's what we're aiming for, but we're still so far away from achieving. And third, I guess, educating young girls, not allowing them to fall into that cycle, you know, of sexual abuse, of over-sexualization at a very young age, you know, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old girls being seen as something to be used, you know. Once we show our young girls that we're here for you, you have the power to be more. You have the power to be more than what this society has intended for you, you know. You have the power to report, and when you report, you will be believed. And when you're believed, there will be action against your oppressor, your abuser. Once we give them that confidence in just being girls, you know, once we show them that they're a major concern, their future is a major concern, their potential is a major concern to us. Once we show them that, and once we act on it, I feel like that's also part of what will lead us to an elevation in terms of our place in society. And I think that's something that really should be addressed.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Karibu.